Hello and good evening to you. Welcome to News 360. It's live from our news hub here at Adesawa in Kanda. My name is Alfred Kansi.
And I'm Natalie Fort. Let's take a look at the headlines for the next 1 hour. Rampaging residents of Somenya in the eastern region clash with the police. And also, Factories Inspector Division of the Ministry of Employment directs management of ShopRite to cording off sections of the supermarket at the Accra Mall where scaffolds have been mounted or face sanctions. Also in the bulletin, Parliament set to vet Justice Sophia Kufu for the position of Chief Justice as it resumes sitting tomorrow. Hello, lead us into the world of business this evening, where once blooming internet cafe venture on speedy decline, virtually kicking owners out of business. And on the foreign front, Russian and French presidents underscored the importance of economic and international cooperation in their talks near Paris. We have the details of these stories, including many more from the world of sports and entertainment, in the next 1 hour. Stay with us. You're watching News 360. Here's where we start off this evening. Hundreds of inhabitants in the La Township of the Greater Accra region have called for the immediate dismissal of the current administration at the La Pleasure Beach Resort. They lamented funds from the beach are being misused by the administration.
The La Pleasure Beach Resort, managed by 3 entities which include the Ghana Tourist Board, La Traditional Council and the La Dadikotopon Youth Association. According to the administrator of the La Pleasure Beach Resort, proceeds are to be shared with 20% to the Traditional Council, 30% to the La Development Fund and 50% for maintenance and salaries. A group calling itself the Concerned Citizens of La Dadikotopon claimed the management of La Pleasure Beach Resort is not adhering to these directives.
We have started with the tradition. As I speak to you, money that we can even use to celebrate the tradition, we don't have. That is my worry and the reason why I'm here talking to you.
We, the custodians of law and the entire youth, we said we are not happy about what is going on. We want the police to take over the place until we settle this case amicably.
They are calling on management of the resort to vacate the premises with immediate effect. Meanwhile, the administrator of the La Pleasure Beach Resort, Efuti Ekwe, insisted management is adhering to the right directives and disputed allegations of the group.
We don't want to wage war. We are not ready to fight each other because we believe in rule of law. So, if we get access, as your outfit has come, and others, I think we'll be able to express our sentiments, and the people of Laos will know, and for that matter, the whole world will know.
According to him, a course directive is being adhered to ensure that representatives from all the 3 entities get their quota of the proceeds.
Sorry, some students of the Accra Technical University have been barred from writing their end of semester examinations after failing to meet the deadline for the payment of the fees. Management of the school say the action is to serve as a deterrent to other students who fail to pay the fees on time.
Numbering more than 200, they comprised first, second and final year students. Information gathered from the university indicates that the students failed to pay their school fees even after an extension was granted. Another deadline was given between May 23 and May 25 after which 100 cedis penalty was imposed prior to the start of the exams on Monday, May 29. The frustrated students had gathered in front of the administration block demanding entry to exams halls.
From what we really heard, they said they are still on it, so they will get back to it. And we are still waiting, and we are frustrated. As we are talking now, at this time, some too have examination, and we don't know what we do. So what it means that you'll be forced to defer, in which you have not decided to defer. Or if later they will change their mind to change it, then you'll be forced to go and write for a receipt with additional costs, apart from paying the 100 Ghana registration.
My cost I have to pay every year is $3,250. So it's too much money. When I bring the money Friday, I went to EcoBank to take the money to pay the school fees. He said, we cannot pay, you cannot register. I said, I paid the penalty $50 Ghana last week. But I want to pay only the $53 to allow me to write my paper Tuesday. He said no, because the last day it was Thursday.
The Deputy Public Relations Officer of the Accra Technical University, Juliana Tay, who declined to speak on camera, said management had taken the action to deter other students from repeating. She explained the school relied heavily on internally generated funds, hence failure to pay fees affects the activities of the school.
In other stories this evening, rampaging residents of Somenya in the eastern region clashed with the police, vandalizing the charge office and burning down the only police patrol serving the Yulokrobo district. Meanwhile, the assembly member for the Sarwa electoral area, Ebenezer Adamte Jones, who led a protest against high electricity bills, and 6 others have been arrested.
Against high cost of electricity bills in the community, of which 2 members were arrested for questioning. The mob reportedly regrouped on Monday, heading for another attack on the ECG office. The Somanya District Police quickly mobilized to the ECG premises, ostensibly to prevent the attack. A second mob attacked the district police station and demanded the release of their leader. The aggrieved residents, mostly the youth, vandalized the station. The mob reportedly opened the cell to release their leaders. They also set the only patrol vehicle in the district ablaze. The police quickly called for reinforcement from Akuse, Akosombo and Kuforidua. Ties were burnt in the various locations in the town by the aggrieved residents. The regional police commander ACP Ebenezer Alex Mensah said the attacks on the police was uncalled for. He said the 2 leaders picked on Friday were to assist in investigation, insisting those involved would be sought after to face the full rigors of the law. There is currently heavy security presence in the town following the deployment of personnel from Accra.
On to other stories. The Factories Inspector Division of the Ministry of Employment has directed management of ShopRite at the Accra Mall to cordon off sections of the shop where scaffolds have been mounted or face sanctions. There's been immense public outcry over the erection of scaffolds within the supermarket while the shop is still open to business.
It was secretly recorded by an amateur photographer after management of Accra Mall will not allow filming of its facility. The ShopRite supermarket at Accra Mall has become an apparent death trap to hundreds of customers. These scaffolds have been mounted for close to 3 months of renovation work. Customers meander through the scaffold to purchase items at the shop. At 10 a.m. Monday, scores of customers had thronged the supermarket while engineers were busily on site. These signs were only visible on entering the mall, warning customers. Managers of the facility justified the mounting of the scaffold, maintaining it is standard practice.
You do not create a work zone in a shopping area without putting control measures in place. Anytime you see scaffolding erected in a working area, there are control measures that you put in place to forestall any injury to anybody, be it workmen or anyone visiting the site where the scaffold is erected.
They will not speak to the media. TV3 has gathered the Inspectorate Division of the Ministry of Employment visited the facility Monday afternoon after the story was telecast.
And it could have happened. These scaffold can come off and hit anyone. Normally, when you read a scaffold, you barricade so that no one gets access to that environment. Because someone would working up there, a metal can fall, so you don't have to allow people to access any location where scaffolds have been erected.
The country has recorded major incidents resulting in death at construction sites in recent times, and this issue has become a serious security concern.
All right, so you heard the voice on the telephone attributed to Mr. Fred Mensah, who is the Director of Factories Inspectorate Department of the Ministry of Employment. He was on phone earlier on. He's with us in studio now. Good evening to you. Thank you for joining us this evening. Now, you admitted in that phone interview earlier on that these scaffolds could just drop and hit anyone. There's a place where children run around and play around. And this scaffold had been there for weeks. I mean, it had to take TV3 to put it up for your division to respond. How effective is your inspectorate division that this had to be there for so long before you had to move?
Yeah, thank you very much. This condition is unacceptable.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean,
and we were there this morning, and then we've made it clear to them that these scaffolds ought to be removed as soon as possible. Tomorrow morning we'll be at the place to inspect, to see whether they've adhered to whatever directions we've given to them. Because of our numbers, we are not able to get to some of these places.
So you lack staff. You don't have adequate staff to go around inspecting the factories.
So most of the time, we concentrate on the high-risk areas where we frequent that place. But when we get information from such places, we immediately deploy officers to that places to ensure that if there is any unsafe condition, it is rectified as soon as possible.
I mean, this has been a public concern. The outcry has been strong, and it's leading up to do this, where children go around there and play, as I said earlier. In other jurisdictions, South Africa, which is the origin of the country of this particular company, such situations, the place will be shut down so that the repair works will be finished and then will be open for business. So why haven't you done what is expected, and you're still having to watch people run around there
it's because
at the risk of their lives?
It's because we've not been there for any inspection. We've not had any information until this morning, and that is why we were there. Tomorrow morning we'll be there and ensure that what the right thing is done. Tomorrow when we get there and the scaffolds are still in place, we'll take the next line of action.
Being what exactly?
I cannot divulge it for here, but tomorrow morning you will know.
I mean,
it's either we shut the place down or we prosecute them. Two things.
You shut the place down
and prosecute them.
And prosecute
them.
Now, so after giving the directive to cordon off the place, did you stay there to ensure that that directive was carried through?
The inspectors were there since morning. It was just this afternoon that they came back to the office, and they were there. So definitely, we've given them this evening, through the night, this job must be done. Tomorrow morning we'll be there and see to it that that thing has been done. If it is not, then we'll take the next level of action, as I said.
So going forward, I mean, this has come up to time when we've had to bring it up. So what are you doing to ensure that you strengthen your arm? Because it's a very critical department that you heard to ensure that there's safety both for the workers of the place and the public who access such public places.
Exactly. Our current minister is very passionate about occupational safety and health. And we have a new bill in place, which is with the ministry ready to be sent to cabinet. And it's going to expand the scope, bring in more resources and more workers, so that we'll be able to get to vital areas and other areas that safety and health is concerned. So we gradually, the government is coming up with certain measures, recruiting a number of staff, and then in the new bill, every occupier or every company is supposed to employ safety officers. If there were to be a safety officer there, I don't think the safety officer will advise them to do what they did. But maybe because they didn't have a safety officer.
So clearly, it means that they have violated the law, because
at the moment,
so there is no requirement that there should be a safety officer at that location.
Exactly.
That's what the new law is going to address.
Exactly.
But after inspecting the place, did you detect that whether they have an insurance or not? Is the place insured?
Yeah, the place is insured because we met their insurance over there, And we had a lengthy discussion with them. I think they also came in for some risk assessment. So we had a lengthy discussion also with them. So the situation is under control. And I believe by tomorrow morning, the situation will change.
I can only hope so, but I thank you for responding swiftly to that call that we put it out there, because the lives of Ghanaians are very important. Thank you. Mr. Fred Mensah is the Director, Factories Inspectorate Department of the Ministry of Employment, is giving us the assurance nothing is done. There's going to be prosecution and imprisonment, you say. Thank you. We'll see how that pans out. But let's go on to some other stories. A Kumasi High Court Judge, Justice Senor Amedai, had his house burgled with some personal belongings taken away. The raid of the judge's Denyame residence has raised security concerns for judges as the police are yet to make any arrest. Here's a report by William Evans Inkum.
Richard, the only person left in the house on Saturday night when the incident happened, said the police officer on duty failed to show up. He showed us the window which the burglar used to access the room of the judge.
When the incident happened, I went to call the watchman, and he quickly ran to me, and I told him that there was armed robbers inside. And he said, where did they pass? And I told him, I don't know. So immediately I asked him of the police on duty, and he told me the police didn't come on duty.
Justice Senor Amedahe would not speak to the news team but expressed worry about the poor conditions some judges face.
I want to stay a bit further with this particular story. I've been joined on the telephone by ASP Gillian Obeng. She is the head of public affairs at the Ashanti Regional Police Command. ASP, good evening to you. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. First of all, having gone to assess the crime scene, what's the latest information you can give to us about the attack on this, the robbery of this particular judge?
Well, good evening to your viewers. Unfortunately, I wasn't privy to what earlier has been said, but I think that you want to find out the update on the story.
Absolutely, that's what was said earlier on.
Formal proceedings.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
No, ASP Julian Obeng, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I was asking specifically if you had visited the crime scene and what you had observed as your preliminary investigations prove.
Well, I think that investigations are ongoing. It will be premature for us to come out with findings that we have today at the time of visit to the scene. Let me just say that the policeman who was supposed to have been on duty, formal proceedings has started with respect to that.
Well, concerns have been raised. I mean, here's a case where some weeks ago, a judge was attacked sitting in court, presiding over a case by some hoodlums belonging to a particular vigilante group, and the judge had to run for her life. Here's a case where a police who had to also be at the residence to guard a judge failed to appear, and then his absence warranted a robbery attack on the judge in that particular home. What exactly is the police doing about this in ensuring the security of judges?
Well, I think that these are two different issues. We would want to divorce what happened yesterday and then that of the Delta Force issues that came up. Delta Force issues has stopped Ghana Police Service and the Ashanti Regional Police Command a lot. Looking forward or going ahead, I think that we have learned our lessons, and so issues of that nature, never again the Ashanti Regional Police Command says. But then, with security for judges, I think that I have mentioned earlier that there was a security man who was supposed to have been in the house, but confirming that he wasn't present at the time of incident. In fact, that he didn't even attend his duty at all. And that is why the Ashanti Regional Police Command has started formal proceedings or formal trial, as it were, to find out why this particular guy in question did not attend his duty.
I see. But finally, before I let you go, maybe you might have, you were not in charge as a public relations officer when this whole Delta Force issue came up. But then the police went ahead to arrest 8 people who were nowhere near the crime scene. They have been discharged because the Attorney General says they don't have enough evidence. Are you employing other means now to get the exact perpetrators of the crime in the court scene?
My regional commander this evening made me understand that the police command in the Ashanti region has reopened the case. In fact, I want to use your medium to appeal to the general public. If there's anybody who has information to issues relating to Delta Force and a reopening of the case, would beg that he makes it or she makes it accessible to the police. So yes, we have reopened Delta Force issues again.
See what to say, but ASP, thank you, and I wish you well.
Thank you too.
ASP Julian Obeng is the head of public affairs at the Ashanti Regional Police Command, indicating that the case has been reopened with this Delta Force 8 issue. Yeah, let's see how it pans out.
Absolutely, Alfred. Security for judges is very important. In other stories this evening, the Ministry for Food and Agriculture has been in a re-strategizing meeting all day to address the issue of armyworms. Many hectares of farmlands in the country have been affected by the fall of armyworms.
Armyworms have devastated maize farms across the country, with farmers losing hundreds of thousands of cedis of investment. On May 24, Minister of Food and Agriculture, Dr. Wusefri Akoto, gave an assurance that the fall armyworms infestation that has affected farms in 9 regions has been contained.
We have prepared a budget of 16 million Ghana cedis, half of which is to go into the purchase of the chemicals required to spray for the control and annihilation of the outbreak of the worm. We want to remove this permanently. Yesterday, I called for the suppliers, the chemical suppliers who are holding stocks of the chemical required, and assured them that they should release the chemicals to us for the immediate distribution, subject to our payment. They have gladly agreed to that. The consequences of it in terms of compensation, we have to look at it.
Now it looks like the fight against the worms has not been as easy as anticipated. In the first place, the worms were mistakenly initially as the African armyworms, hence the wrong chemicals were applied.
So we'll stay on this issue further, as we know these pests were detected sometime last year and have now spread and affected farmlands all across the country, costing farmers their livelihood. So let's now take the details and see how the fall of armyworm infestation is across the country. 20,000 hectares of maize farms have currently been affected by the spread of armyworm. In addition, a regional breakdown is what you see on your screen now. In the Bono Ahafo region, 14,201.57 hectares have been affected. Eastern region, a lot less, in fact, 1,583 hectares. And in the Ashanti region, 365 hectares have been affected by the armyworm infestation. And in the central region, 1,349 hectares of farmlands have been affected. As you can see here, the threat to food security is what many stakeholders in the agricultural sector are concerned about. And in the regional breakdown for the Greater Accra region, 117 hectares have been affected. In the northern region, 354.8 hectares. Upper West, 6 hectares. Volta, 227.70 hectares. And the western region, 15 hectares have been affected by this spread of armyworm. And so here is where the issue is. 442,008.4 liters of insecticide have in fact been dispatched, in addition to 1,380 kilograms of biological insecticides. So action has been taken towards ending and destroying these pests, but it looks like it's to no avail, and that's why this crash course and emergency meeting is being held by stakeholders in the sector. Still on that, in other stories, preparation to vet Justice Sophia Ekufu for the position of Chief Justice is to begin as soon as possible when Parliament resumes sitting tomorrow, Tuesday, May 30. Deputy Majority Leader Adjoa Safo says her approval or otherwise will be the first thing to be done among other issues by the House.
Members of Parliament will resume work after their almost 2 months break. One of the issues the House will consider would be the approval of Sofa Akufu as Chief Justice.
The Auditor General, as well as the Chief Justice, would also have to appear before the Appointments Committee for vetting. Tomorrow, the preparatory work at the committee level. You know, a lot happens at the committee level before they sit. As the Vice Chair of that committee, I can say tentatively and authoritatively, tomorrow we're meeting on it, and definitely in the subsequent week we will have to sit and vet the Chief Justice as well as the Auditor General.
The Deputy Majority Leader said there are a number of bills and instruments that will be laid for consideration by the House.
Well, some of the bills include the Ghana Railways Development Bill 2017, Ghana Railways Regulatory Authority Bill would also be passed, the Creative Arts Bill. We have the Cooperative Bill, we have the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority Amendment Bill. We have a lot of instruments that will also be before Parliament, like the local government instrument 2017.
But the Right to Information Bill, which was nearly passed in the last Parliament, is yet to feature in the agenda of the House.
The Ministry for Information, together with the Attorney General, are looking at it. We are hopeful that within this sitting or this meeting, we can take that one. But as you know, the fact that we have this draft agenda doesn't mean that this is strictly the number 1 to number 10 rule or checklist. So as soon as the preparatory work is done from the AG together with the Information Minister, it will be forwarded to us in Parliament.
Still watching News 360. Remember, this bulletin is live on News on TV3 on Facebook as well as 3news.com. Return with more news shortly. Stay with us.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the business segment on News 360. My name is Parkwisi Asari. We begin with our very first story, and the Chief Executive Officer of Leroy Cables, Kate Kwate Papafiu, has debunked assertions that the business terrain is a sole preserve of men. She added being successful requires a detailed understanding about market demands and remaining competitive. She was speaking at the 4th edition of TV3's Time with the Captains.
What has been your major challenge?
As a woman, it's always, as a woman, always a woman. But we play all parts. In terms of the industries, it's quite interesting to know that you face challenges, yes, because sometimes they ask you, but this is a men's world, how come you are here? But it's like, okay, it takes two. When it comes in terms of a woman being in business, what defines you to say that you are a man, you can do this business and the woman cannot? But often said than that, you have to also have the passion for it. It's not an easy task. Sometimes you can go through a lot of loneliness because you ask yourself, but they are all men, and any time you go out there, it's all by yourself, which is quite good because you tend to actually get all the attention, which makes it more interesting. And all the favors as well. And all the favors, actually, which makes it more interesting. But also, it's quite challenging because you have to combine all that. And it's only when you decide that, well, I'm not going to give up. And in business, you don't have to give up. You face through the challenges, you go through it. Because challenging makes you more actually successful. Well, you can solve problems and you can solve issues.
So you've got a tough skin.
Oh, you should have a tough skin to be in business, especially in Ghana.
It was once regarded a booming venture. The once profitable internet cafe business is on a speedy decline, virtually kicking some owners out of business. A report by Prince Ajivo.
Ghana became the first country in sub-Saharan Africa to gain full internet connectivity in August 1995. This birthed the establishment of cyber cafes, which used to be highly patronized. However, the hitherto money-spinning venture for some reasons is on a steady decline. One cannot overlook the invasion of advanced mobile internet technological gadgets. The influx of these devices has changed the status quo, where access to internet is no longer an exclusive preserve of a few people. This has also reduced the monopoly enjoyed over the years by internet cafes. The Sharpnet Internet Cafe has operated for 12 years. Its manager, Scott Allen, noted patronage is fast declining, and this has forced him to diversify into services like printing photocopies, photo shooting, and laboratory.
It's going to continue to go down because more and more people will be using their devices at home or using their device, their mobile device. However, when you look at penetration, the penetration of the internet amongst individuals is not extremely high in Ghana. So I think there's going to be a time where people are going to come here first to print things or to look at something, to do some research.
Possibly to do some printout over here because our machines are faulty.
I don't usually go to the cafe because I can do everything on my phone.
K-God Internet Cafe and Business Center could not withstand the low customer patronage, prompting the owner to turn it into a barbering shop.
When I came, I was informed that business had declined. That is why the cafe was closed.
Nevertheless, operators at the Brothers Internet Cafe in Kanda will not entertain any form of customer misconduct, as notices such as no downloading of movies and music, no viewing of pornography sites were visible. Even though the lamented revenue generated goes into payment of utility bills, they were hopeful business would improve.
Now, because of there's more technology in town, phones and all that stuff, you see, yes. So, like the way you one day wake up, like I'm coming to the internet to check my mail and all that stuff. Now you can do that on phone, you see, yes. So now it has made the business a bit down, but all the same, we say we are balancing.
With the current easy internet accessibility, what will be the next technological development?
In other news, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Yofi Grant, has underscored the need to promote trade activities among African countries. This, he noted, will make Africa a great market to economic development.
Intra-Africa trade currently stands at 12% against 65% of trade activities between Africa and foreign countries. Speaking at Ghana South Africa Business Seminar held in Accra, Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Yofi Grant, said Ghana ought to create an enabling environment in order to attract investors from African countries.
Whilst we're looking at investors coming from either countries, we are also looking at trade opportunities, which would really positively impact our economies. I think there's a great opportunity for our business people to look at the South African market as a good trade opportunity. Additionally, I'll ask our South African brothers and sisters to look at Ghana as a good place to put your manufacturing for the sub-region.
The Ghana Investment Promotion Center, together with South Africa's Oten Investment Center, is in talks to promote investments between Ghana and South Africa. This is also aimed at creating business partnerships towards an intra-Africa integration and impactful economic development. Oten Province is an industrial hub in Sub-Saharan Africa, which contributes immensely towards South Africa's economy, with 43% of employment creation in the country. Premier of Oten, David Makura, noted trade among African countries is the way forward towards an industrialized continent.
Africans are not investing as much money as they have into infrastructure. These opportunities that present themselves as often as problems are what African business people should harvest.
He added, proper governance systems and a drive towards entrepreneurship would further make Africa a wealthy continent. South African Ambassador to Ghana, Lulana Chingwana, underscored the need for Ghana to enhance the already cordial relations between the two countries to boost investment opportunities.
That's all for the very latest in the world of business. My name is Pakwisi Asari.
Hello, good evening. Sports News Time here on News360. My name is Michael Otieje. And there's only one place to start from the camp of the Black Stars, because Ghanaians are taking stock of what the future holds after the national under-17 side finished second at the 2017 Under-17 Nations Cup in Gabon. Defeat to Mali means Ghana is still chasing a first title at the level since 1999. And some of the biggest products at that level says that should be the least of the country's worry. Dorabedu Achampong has more.
Thrill at under-17 level show signs that they are about to explode, get that breakthrough, and often in the history of Ghana, fail to build on it. That is why former Ghana international Samuel Osei Kufuor, one of the rare success stories of the starlet system, is urging caution for the class of 2017. Kufuor says the priority of the nation should be progress first, then trophies later.
We need this under-17 than the Blasters. Why? Because these are the future. How long can we just depend on Asamoah? How long can we depend on the DRU? So I think this is the future. And the future is bright for us because they started very well. We should monitor them stage to stage. Under-17, under-20 matches, we should just make them a gradual process.
Kufuor played in the 1991 squad in that World Cup in Italy and the 1993 side that finished behind Nigeria in Japan. He went on to have a wonderful career with Bayern Munich and a long spell as a Black Stars regular. He says off the back of this tournament, agents will throw mouth-watering offers at players, but expect them to think smart before committing to anything.
So-called agents are calling in that, oh, AC Milan want you, Bayern Munich, Chelsea. They should be more careful because I can just tell you 2 or 3 players that went to big clubs like that. How did the performance go? So you can start it from somewhere and then push yourself there. It's up to you, the player, how you prepare yourself.
Samuel Osei Kufuor there, sounding a few cautiousness to the Black Stars. Onto a story that's broken in the last 2 or so hours because Barcelona have confirmed Ernesto Valverde as their new head coach. Now, the former Barcelona forward will be unveiled officially at a ceremony on Thursday. The 53-year-old replaces Luis Enrique, who is leaving Barcelona at the end of his 3-year contract, having won 9 trophies, including the European Champions League. Valverde spent the last season at Atletico Bilbao, guiding them to 7th place in the just-finished La Liga season. He is one of the most experienced coaches in the league, with 10 years under his belt in spells at Bilbao, Valencia, and Espanyol. He also managed in Greece with Olympiacos.
Welcome back to News 360. In entertainment news this evening, ticket sale on the black market boomed in the run-up to the 2017 Ghana Meets Niger musical showdown. Anticipating a sold-out concert, syndicates hoarded hundreds of tickets, selling them for higher rates to desperate buyers. Owusu has more.
It's 30 minutes to 10 p.m. and this is the main stretch between the Accra International Conference Center and the Red Runabout. And what's happening is that a lot of people are trying to make their way into the main auditorium where the Ghana Meet Niger 2017 edition will be taking place. And everybody wants to get a ticket so they can go enjoy the show. But what is happening is that people have hoarded a lot of tickets. These tickets are being sold at exorbitant prices, and so that is the situation right now.
The show enthusiasts showed up to have fun, but for operators of the black market, it was a fine opportunity to make money. Days to the event, regular tickets sold for 150 cedis, VIP went for 200 cedis, and VVIP 300 cedis. But expect the black market to always create artificial shortage when the unpaid is sold out concerts.
Regular. 25 last. 25 last. 25 mama.
At the main entrance, the sale of tickets on the black market boomed. Syndicates had a field day selling to desperate buyers at sky-high prices.
What's the name?
Yeah, my name is Aminu Mohammed.
Original Aminu, businessman.
Yeah, businessman.
And so basically, what are you doing right here?
Unfortunately, we go and buy the tickets and we sell it at the higher price. Because right now, last year, Ghana Meet Niger, rainfall. Moreover, we are holding the ticket. Nobody care about us. So that means when opportunity comes, which we gain. Just last month, Ghana Music Award, when you came here, even 300 tickets, we sell it for 40 Ghana. Nobody care. We lost about 9,000, plenty of us. So it is the matter of opportunity, and you will take the opportunity and make it up.
The job is lose and gain. Ghana Music Awards, my friend is saying we lost. We lost a lot. 300 Ghana City tickets. We even sold it for 100 Ghana Cedis. Even last show, we even sell it for more than 30, even 50 Ghana. They are not buying it.
So this is your cocoa season?
Not all that. People are coming, but we are still expecting.
From 150 cedis, regular tickets sold at 250 and 300 cedis.
And I think that's not cool. Yeah, maybe I will hang around a little, then go home. Because I don't have money I don't have 500 cedis or even 300 cedis to purchase just a one ticket. No, I don't.
The organizers play a huge role in this. They should actually come outside and try and resolve this issue, because it's not a fair thing having to buy a regular ticket at a VIP price. So the management, I think the organizers need to check this out and solve things next time. Okay, a regular ticket originally is 150. I got mine for 250.
At least a person should buy one or two, because at the end of the day, a lot of people are coming to watch the show, and definitely they will need ticket.
Another thing that we can say is let them have people from the organizing team at the gate, whereby you can say, okay, you can purchase your ticket here at the gate. I think that is going to be one of the best ways to stop this, or else it will continue.
Patrons had to oblige, as missing the opportunity to see their stars perform was not an option at all. Some angry patrons called for measures to check the practice.
25 last. 25.
Wow, exorbitant prices there. We'll bring you more news here on News 360 shortly. Stay with us.